When you first decided to install solar panels on your home, it probably felt like a no-brainer, especially with family, influences, friends, and all that. The promise of low energy bills, a smaller carbon footprint, and the idea of doing something good for the planet. All of it sounded great, and to be fair, solar panels can indeed be a fantastic investment. They help you save money on electricity, they're environmentally friendly, and they can even make your home more energy efficient. But what happens when it's time to sell your home? That's where things can get a little tricky and complicated. Over the years, I have worked with many homeowners here in Fremont, Bay Area, and surrounding areas who are surprised to learn just how complicated selling a home with solar panels can be. There are a lot of misconceptions surrounding that out there and about solar panels and how they affect the sale of a property. Some homeowners believe the panels are free and won't impact the transaction at all. Others assume that having solar panels will automatically increase the value of their home and make it easier to sell. Unfortunately, the reality is not quite that simple. Today, I'm going to break it all down for you. I'll explain exactly what to expect when selling a home with solar panels here in Fremont. I'll walk you through the challenges, the financial implications, and the strategies you can use to make the process as smooth as possible. Stick around until the very end, and I'll even share my personal playbook for selling a home with solar panels. My name is Robbie Thomas, Bay Area Downsizer, and I'm your local real estate guy here in Fremont. If you're thinking about selling a home or you just want to learn more about the real estate market in Fremont or surrounding cities, just make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with a friend. Now, let's dive in. The reality of selling a home with solar panels, as more and more homeowners in Fremont are installing solar panels, and it's becoming increasingly common to see them on homes for sale. But while solar panels are great for reducing your energy bills, they can complicate the home selling process in ways that many people don't anticipate. If it is a new home construction, the builder bakes in the price into the property. So it doesn't affect. But if it's a resale for an older property, it's complicated. So let's start with the basics. So when you install the solar panels, there are typically two ways to pay for them. You either purchase them outright or you finance them. Financing can take a form of a loan or a lease. And if you own the panels outright, meaning you paid for them in full when they were installed, selling your home is kind of relatively straightforward. But if you're like most owners who probably finance the panels or entered into a lease agreement with a solar company, they can be tricky. A Tesla solar roof could be somewhere in the range of 100,000 or more. So let's look at the financial implications. Let's say you're selling a home for 1.3 million. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. You still owe $50,000 on your solar panel loan, and you have a lease agreement that the buyer will need to assume when the transaction is closing, without which the transaction won't close. The 50,000 isn't just going to disappear. The buyer's lender will take it into consideration, and when they approve that loan, it's going to be an issue. In other words, the buyer will need to qualify for not just 1.3 million, but for 1.35 million to cover the cost of the solar panels. Now, here's the problem. Many buyers won't qualify for that higher amount. They like your property, but they won't qualify. So they love the home, but the additional financial burden of that solar panel might push them out of that budget and buying that home, which is yours. And if they don't qualify, they just can't buy a home with that solar problem. So it's as simple as that. Then there's the appraisal dilemma. Another issue that comes up is the home appraisal. Many homeowners assume that home panels will increase the value of their home. After all, they're an expensive and valuable feature, right? Unfortunately, that's not how appraisals work. When an appraiser evaluates your home, they look at the comparable sales in the area to determine its market value. And while solar panels might be a nice feature, they typically won't add much, if any, value at all to the appraisal. In fact, most appraisers here in the Fremont area may or may not credit three, five, $8,000 to the solar system, even if it's a cost of $50,000 to install for you. That means you have a system that's being paid off, but you won't see that reflected in the appraised value of your home. So that creates buyer hesitation. There's fear in the buyer that they're going to deal with this. So here's the challenge. So even if a buyer loves your home, they might not want to assume the responsibility of your solar lease or loan, whether it's a PACE loan or a HERO loan. I've seen this happen time and time again, and buyers will say, I'll pay full price for the house, but I'm not taking over the solar panel payments. And honestly, I don't blame them. Can you? It's an added monthly expense that they may not have budgeted for, and it can feel like a hassle to deal with the solar company. In my experience, about 70 to 75% of buyers will walk away from a deal if the seller isn't willing to pay off the solar panels. And that means, as the seller, you're often left with just two choices: either pay off the solar panels yourself or wait for a buyer who's willing to take them on. And waiting for that perfect buyer can take time, and time is invaluable, especially in a shifting market in the Bay Area. So, time that you may not have because you need to sell quickly for the highest price. Strategies for selling a home with solar panels are different. So, what can you do? So, if you're selling a home with solar panels, here are my top strategies. Number one, understand your solar agreement. Read it, reread it, call the company, the solar company, figure out what it means. All that before you list your home. Make sure you fully understand the terms of your solar lease or loan, how much you owe, how much you paid off, how much is the closing cost that is added to that, what are your monthly payments if there's any adjustment, are there any fees or while transferring the lease to a new owner. And the more you know, the better prepared you will be. Number two is price strategically. If you owe 50,000 or lesser on your solar panel and you know that they don't add as much value as to the appraisal as I mentioned earlier, consider pricing your home 50,000 lower. For example, if it was 1.3 million, the comparables, you list it for 1.25 million and you get more buyers into the house, and they can then make an educated decision to come up with the price, which is higher than that 1.25 million, closer to 3 or even more, depending on location. And that makes it competitively stand out in the marketplace. Number three, be prepared to negotiate. Negotiate, negotiate, negotiate. In most cases, buyers will ask you to pay off the solar panels as part of the transaction. And if you have enough equity in your home, this might be the best option. Yes, it's an added expense, but is it? Like, it's helping you sell faster, but it can take the sale and make it go very smoothly and fast. Number four is work with an experienced realtor. Selling a home with solar panels can be complicated. Selling a home is complicated. So it's important to work with a realtor who understands the entire process and the nuances with that. They can help you save with the negotiations, the communications with the solar company, and market your home effectively. The final thoughts that I have is selling a home with solar panels isn't that impossible, but it does require some extra planning and strategy. Good news is that most homeowners in Fremont still have significantly high equity in their homes. So even if you need to pay off your solar panels, you'll likely walk away with a very healthy profit. If you have any questions about selling your home with solar panels, or if you're just curious about the real estate market in Fremont and the surrounding areas, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below, and I'd be able to help you navigate the entire complicated process. My name is Robbie Thomas, Bay Area Downsizer, and I'm here to help you sell your home for top dollar in the shortest period of time with as much ease as possible. Until next time, stay safe.